Panther NATO, Panther NATO, Panther NATO. What it do? It's your boy Nick Hatton. Welcome to the Pantheon. Hope everybody had a spirited Super Bowl. I'm glad the Chiefs lost for several reasons. Yeah. And I'll just leave it at that. I loved the halftime show. I just feel like it was great for certain people in the audience to see people like Samuel L. Jackson dressed up as Uncle Sam. I felt like it was great for certain people in the audience to see a Black America. Yeah. Which Kendrick Lamar so eloquently painted the picture of, with the flag being made up of all Black people. I loved it. Anyway, let's get to the Panthers business though, because we got some smoke. Got a little fire to put out. And in fact, no, we got indictments. There are indictments. I don't know where my robe is I had last time. I think my wife might have threw it out. I don't know. She probably came across and said, "Oh, what's this?" Ain't nobody need this no more. Just threw it out. You know what? Hold tight. I got this. Man, I had that robe, but I got this one. Yeah, but my son's anime costume, but it'll serve the purpose for what we're trying to do here. I like the little flaps here. We're gonna get right to it. So, I gotta indict somebody that I never thought I'd have to indict. Can't believe I had to do it, but I gotta do it. Cameron Jarrell Newton, approach the bench, sir. You know, the day they decided that this black, brash, dual threat quarterback that had become too loud for the game, when they collectively decided, as I'm pretty sure that it was a collection, that they had decided that maybe he was becoming too big for his britches, and no, we just gotta put him out to pasture and make an example of him. The day they did that, they truly messed up. Because what they invented unknowingly was the black mouth of the South. Excuse me, this light is messing with me. I gotta dim it a little bit. Make it a little bit more processed blue into place. That's good. I like that better. Now, Cameron J. Newton, you are hereby being indicted. Although you are not being indicted for what you may think you're being indicted for. My friend, you are being indicted for keeping it a buck too much. keeping it a buck too much. I think it was Cleavon Little in Blazing Saddles that spoke the words, speaking the plain truth, getting pretty damn dull around this town. Spoken as if it was a prophecy. Yeah, there was a line of one of Mel Brooks' greatest films. Keeping it a buck too much. Too much, so much that dogs get offended and say, ouch. I never thought I'd see the day. Cam, there's just some things that you just shouldn't say, even though they're true. Even though they're true. There's just some truths that you can't keep it all the way a buck with. Let's be real, folks. Our draft system in the NFL is not a lottery draft system. So a team is pretty much reminded, especially if you're picking 1 through 10, a team is pretty much reminded with every pick how trash they were the previous year. Oh, they just picked such and such and such. He's really going to fix this, and he's really going to fix that. Oh, they just improved, and they're really going to fix this, and they're really going to fix. With every pick, they're going to say that if you are picking from 1 through 10. I mean, let's not act like we ain't been here before. That's just the nature of the beast. There is not a lottery system currently. That's not how the NFL does the draft. The better teams get the later picks, and the worst teams get the best picks. Or what's called the best picks. Locker room full of losers. So what does that mean? That means these guys can't play ball. That means they ain't got no talent. That ain't mean ain't no dogs around. No. You are a locker room full of losers that have gotten you that number 1 picking slot because of one of the following. And let me go ahead and kill this misconception. Because you're a losing team does not mean that you don't have some dogs on it. Let's shoot forward to 2019. Cam, sideline. Kyle Allen's quarterback. Rivera is gone. Our whole team, our whole organization is in shambles, dude. Shambles. Yet, there's a bright spot. Oh, there's a bright spot. Because Christian McCaffrey, or as I affectionately once called him, the C-Mac truck. This dude hits the 1,000 club. Our season was trash. And in the midst of all of that trash, we had one to enter into the upper echelon of NFL history and enjoying a very exclusive club. meaning that you hit 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing, all in one season. We labeled him dog. We put him into the Panther pantheon. You like what I did there, huh? You like that again? We put him into the pantheon of goatdom when he hit that 1,000. But the team was trash. So yes, you can be a loser squad with some dogs on it. Don't get it twisted. Untwisted. What composes a losing team? Well, there are several factors. You can have all the greatest talent in the world and the wrong coach. Vice versa. You can have a GM that takes the word of scouts that he shouldn't be listening to. Or you can have a GM who thinks he's the biggest brain in the room. All of the above are great recipes for losing squads. Yet, when you are a number one draft pick, especially overall, you go through the pomp and circumstance of draft night. Oh, the fits. Oh, the tables. Oh, and let me tell you something. You ain't sitting on no couch. You at the table. You there right when the draft is happening at. Oh, they're going to give you the hat. They're going to give you the jersey. The picture with the commissioner. What's up, Mr. Goodell? Hold tight. I got one more thing to get. Give me a second. Smitty, you didn't do this with the commissioner first round. Cam did. And in the back of that person's mind, they are thinking that they have to overcome all of the, especially if they're a quarterback, they have to overcome all of the mistakes that have and bad decisions that have been made to bring this team to that spot to be able to pick them. Let me take you back in time. You get there by losing, which makes you a loser. Don't matter the dogs you got on your team. Let's go back in time a little bit. Let's go back to where we don't want to go back to. That one game. You know, we've been in part of the big game, I think twice. And this one hurt the most because it was a very iconic year for the franchise as well as the league. We put our heads down, but the next morning there was a bright spot. Jared Allen riding it off to the sunset. to make way and to make room to re-sign Jay Norm and others. And that signing never got made. And Zach Sanchez never lived up to Jay Norm. He only lived up to one thing: chasing the skirt of my fellow alumni. Shout out to you, sis, but yeah. Then we got James Bradbury. He was a good shutdown corner. Wasn't a good pick-away dude, but he shut him down, though. So he was a good PBU guy. Shout out to JB. But going back to that 2015 season, Cam even said, if I got Smitty with me, we winning that. Which tells you that Cam wasn't talking about people specifically. He was talking about the status. Talking about the status. When I think about the Super Bowl that we just watched, and I think about how the Eagles turned Mahomes into Mahomes alone without all the bells and whistles and trinkets that made the assailants fall on their ass. I have no choice but to think back and say, hey, is it possible for me to go back in time and uninjure our defense and play that game against them again? Because I believe that I could bet and win that our defense is going to do the same thing to him, and that game is going to be deadly for Kansas City. But you can't go back. We lost that game by 3 points. We ended the season respectfully, but it was still a losing season. And we got dogs. Bryce is stepping into his own. We know about what I call the Queen City Imperial Wall. I think I'm changing that to the Queen City Impenetrable Wall. I think I'm going to do that. You know what? As much as I can't stand our ex coach, I have to say, Julie Rule, I believe you should be at least a scout, if not a GM. Because you nailed it with Chuba. Appreciate you for that. So again, we got dogs. But it still is a losing season. That has us picking, at number 6? Oh. So again, there's several recipes to make you losers. And whatever that recipe is, the player's mind, in the player's mind, I feel like they feel like I'm going to do whatever I can do to ball out. And at the end of the day, I'm not no loser. But you're attached to a team. If this was a 1v1 sport, you might win all day long. If this was a 1v1 sport, you might win all day long. I am convinced that if you put Steve Smith out there on the island against any DB, you name it, he literally might catch the football all day long. But just like winning is a team result, losing is also a team result. And it's too often that it's dogs that have to taste that. They got to eat that taste. Kansas City was hailed as one of the greatest teams. People were literally biting their nails for them to bring back the third Super Bowl in a row. They lost with dogs. Kittle, Mahomes, Worthy, Pacheco. I could go on and on. They got dogs and they lost. Somebody gonna win. Somebody gonna lose. You either gonna bring back the dub. I can't even twist up my fingers. You either gonna bring back the dub, or you gonna bring back the L. You coming home with one of them, and if you're on the home field, you gonna stay home with one of them. Nobody likes tying no more. That's why they came up with overtime. That's why they came up with overtime. So you're going to go home with one of them. And the amount of dogs you got on your team, all it takes is the wrong play. All it takes is the wrong play called at the wrong time, a bad snap, fumble, a misstep. Do you understand that a misstep lost us a whole MVP quarterback? It is what it is. Why argue over semantics? That whole doesn't matter whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. Ain't nobody won NFC championship for how they played the game. Ain't nobody won a Super Bowl for how they played the game. No, to get to an NFC or AFC championship, you have to have a certain amount of wins over everybody else in your division and conference. Then you're in the playoffs. Then you can't lose these playoff games and play the game as long as you play the game well. You know, there's a round robin. No, it's elimination, baby. So it's not just how you play the game. No, the wins and losses actually matter. It's the game we play. It's the game we love. It's the game we live. And I don't know, maybe in some type of world, all of these offense-friendly rules have made everybody a little sensitive. A little soft to everything. I would never imagine Mr. Ice Up Son, 89, even ever considering someone calling him a loser. Like it's him personally, he's a loser. Dude, if you was a loser, I don't think that Rivera and the boys would have kept you for that 2011 season. Again, Cam even said, if I got Smitty with me in 2015, we win that. So you know he said on his platform, so he's giving you your flowers on his platform. So you know he's not calling you a loser. I think you're trolling, really. I think you're trolling, bro. You gotta be trolling. Mr. Ice Up Son can't take that personal. It's an oxymoron. It's. Oh, let me go back here. Let me go back here. Mr. What was it? Go back to Charlotte, check my mail, and make sure my lawn is cut. That dude can't even think about nobody even attempting to call him a loser. Not if he's serious. Not if he's serious. He got to be trolling. Gotta be trolling. I can't think of no other reason. I can't take that seriously as a real emotion or feeling that he feels butthurt for Cam saying that. Him or Charles Johnson. All the Panther NATO, Cam included, know these guys is dogs. But again, our current status, case in point, we got dogs on the team. We're losers. We ended that season as losers with a losing record. There was no practice on Monday. There was a final season meeting. Everybody then went to the lockers, packed up their stuff, collected their belongings, vacated. That's what losers do. And I keep saying it like that so that it can sink in that, yes, you're a dog as an individual, but if you're on that team and you have accumulated more losses than wins, you're a loser. It doesn't feel good to say. It doesn't feel right to say. It actually hurts to say. All you can do is pick yourself up, dust yourself off, train, eat right. Not like me. I probably could go out there right about now and get down on that impenetrable wall, to tell you the truth. Just use me for depth, you know what I'm saying? Just use me for depth. Somebody get hurt, I do what I can do. I do what I can do. And I used to be a DB. This is what a good wife that cook real good is what you get. Yep. But yeah, we're a losing team, a team of losers. Again, that hurts to say. It's hurtful. It's painful. But it's the game we play, baby. It's the game we love. It's the game we live. You know? And if you're still playing, and even with Steve, you find other ways to win. Even when you're done with the game, you know you're a winner, so you find other ways to win. Commentating his podcast, he's found other ways to win, so he himself personally cannot be considered a loser. Not personally, but as a team, 2-14, yes, it was a team of losers. Why? Because they lost as a collective over a whole span of a season. Come on, I shouldn't have to break this down. And when I talk about the bad decisions that were made, again, Smitty was not a first rounder. He was a late rounder that should have been a first rounder. Which, case in point to the bad decisions that lead to a recipe of making a team of losers. I'm reminded of the breakout wide receiver this year that had so much promise that would just, they couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop him. He was all over the field. Every time I look up, there's a highlight of him. His name is Xavier Worthy. And I think back to this.
Something enticing to you about possibly playing in Carolina?
Come again?
I said, what's something enticing to you about possibly playing in Carolina?
Bryce being there. I feel like Bryce kind of got like a bad look this year. I feel like that's not him. I threw with Bryce and kind of a little bit in California, so I feel like just him being there just kind of gives that kind of one up for him.
How do you feel that you would complement his game? Maybe bring out a side of Bryce Williams?
Just being that receiver for him that Jameson Wayne was in college for him. I feel like I could be that for him.
And then I compare that to the Xavier that we did pick, who's really been subpar this year. And I think that about Dan Morgan clawing back into first to pick him at 32nd to get him. Now, when I compare the two, that's one thing. Especially with Kansas City waiting till the second to pick him when we could have got him in the first. That's one thing. Us picking an injured running back in the second that can easily re-injure is another thing. Us getting an undrafted Jalen Coker, cocaine gang all day. Him having to fight and claw, tooth and nail, blood, sweat, and tears to get his spot, to really show off what he can do. When XL gets that number one spot and is assured a spot on the team, he got it all day long. He's assured. But yet this sure-handed speedster in Jalen Coker is not going to be drafted, yet when he's picked, has to fight, claw, tooth, and nail, even is cut from the team, has to go through all these shenanigans, pass the waivers, to get on the practice squad, go through all of this to get back on the team. Again, these are mistakes and bad decisions that make for a recipe for a team of losers, having to pick 1 through 10. There's no other way to say it. Yes, you can be a team of losers and have dogs. Is Kansas City losers? Not as far as the season, but they lost when it mattered the most. Why? Because like I said, you either going home with that L or the dub. And what's crazy is, and this adds to the mystique of the game, that it's not just the players on the field that decide the team status, whether they're going to be winners or losers. But it's the nature of the game we play, we love, and we live. I got to go, y'all. This has been my time. It's your boy, Nate Head. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this video with other Panther fans out there. Listen, I'm not PNP. I'm not CP3. I'm not Pat Coltrane, by the way. What's up, sir? Glad you're back. Glad you're back doing your thing. So glad to see you the other day on your video, man. All of us do what we do in love of this one team. This one team. This one team. But this right here, this is what reps me, and I rep them. This is an old jersey. I'm not quite sure if you can still see it, but you can dang sure see it on this one. That right there. And I'm more of a dog dude. I don't even like cats. Oh, but this cat right there, that's the only cat. That's the only cat that I rock with. Now, you know, I support Detroit Lions as long as they got my boy Brad Holmes, you know, because he Aggie pray. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? That's all day. That's all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? By the way, shout out to Dave and Rashad over at PNP, also Aggie alum. But yeah, man. So what I'm about to say is all of us do this Panther Cast thing differently in our own little ways. But it's all for the love of this right here, man. All for the love of that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Till next time, y'all keep pounding. Peace, and God bless.